Hi, everyone. So there's so much information out there about self-development and mental health, and some don't have scientific proof. So we at Bessern actually spend a lot of time checking stuff in terms of what is the value, what is the scientific approach, scientific methods behind, productivity and well-being and mental health and all these different topics. And this is something we want to start sharing with you guys moving forward. So in this very kind of spot short format, which we're going to call True or Not, we want to demystify some of the things that are out there and just to tell you whether it actually works or not. So to get us started off today, we have three topics we're going to cover. Let us start with corporate well-being. Ivan, so I'm going to throw this question at you. So a lot of talk about well-being these days, right, in organizations and the challenges. Does it actually have a financial impact on the organization?
Listen, hello. So welcome to the episode number 1 already. So this is quite good. I'm super excited. So getting back to the topic of corporate well-being, there is a lot of discussions about how do you measure, in fact, corporate well-being? What is the impact, in fact, on the productivity, on the bottom line, the profitability on companies? I got hand of some information, for instance, that is regarding what is the importance of mental health in particular in the UK. So the bottom line, in fact, in the UK is approximately 42 to 45 billion pounds. Can you imagine this quantity? Okay, if you cannot imagine the quantity, let me compare it to the GDP, the yearly GDP of Serbia, a medium-sized country in the world. So when we are talking about the impact of mental health, we have to consider a couple of basics. So first there is the cost of absence. In fact, people who are not coming to work, which represents approximately 17% of the total cost. And then we have the cost of presenteeism. Let me explain you what is presenteeism. Presenteeism is coming to work, showing up, but not being productive. So being in front of the screen. Presenteeism represents 64% of these 42 to 45 billion pounds. And this is where most of the companies, in fact, do not have enough information or data to quantify what is the impact of mental health. Mental health well-being is impacting every corporation in the world. So the way you calculate is going to have is going to represent, in fact, a substantial number of that impact in the corporate well-being. Now, I have a question for you, in fact, Elena. So,
Tell me.
There is a lot of people who believes that motivation is enough, in fact, to change behaviors. If I'm really, really motivated to do a change in my life, like being more present at home, being more balanced within my time of at work and my personal time, that if I'm really motivated, I can change things. What is your take on that?
Well, it's definitely a myth to an extent. So think about, just for yourself or anybody who's watching this, think about how often you want to make a change, like you want to start working out or eating well or maybe being more productive, yet nothing happens and you're super motivated, which is actually why New Year's resolutions don't work, is because people get super pumped and excited and they want to change their whole life within like a month. And if nothing happens by February 1st, then, they kind of give up. So, and that is because there's so much more to change of behavior than just motivation. And we know this from the studies and science behind some of the research of B.J. Fogg, who's a professor at Stanford, and he talks about that behavior change essentially. And he mentions that it's not just about motivations, 3 factors actually. It's motivations, it's ability, and it's triggers. So motivation, we understand, it's how badly do I want to do it. Ability is how easy or difficult it is to make the change. And the third one is the triggers. So actually identifying ways you can incorporate it with an existing habit. So these 3 things will make the change possible and more sustainable. And this is what his research follows, and this is also what we implement with our clients, which proven to be quite successful. So no, motivation is not the only thing. If you only have motivation, unlikely to make a change. So definitely not true to an extent. And the last one I have for you is, let's talk about creativity, because you know, people always think of creativity as somebody who maybe has a marketeer job or somebody who's an artist or musician. So these people are creative. So is it true now that creativity is only reserved for the specific kind of individual in a workplace, or is it for all of us?
Mm. Well, I would say that is for all of us. Our brain is built in such a way that we can integrate new behaviors, new changes, learn new things at any time and regardless of what background you have. You just need to create the routine or the process inside of your brain so that this becomes activated. It is almost like a muscle that you need to start practicing, but not in a disruptive way, like from one shot, I learn about creativity and I'm going to be able to apply it the next day. In fact, the brain accepts even better when you do small little steps. What you were saying about this, how do you create habits or you make a change in your life? This is what is applied. In fact, how do we create that there is a small little chunk every single day that I'm practicing in order to exercise creativity? So we have this principle of the brain, which is called neuroplasticity. At any time, we can format, rewire our brain in order to become what we want to be. Now, there is a little bit of steps that needs to be taken into consideration. First, the focus on the problem. We always create that creativity is about having ideas. If these ideas do not provide value to anyone, so it's the wrong type of creativity. It has to be rooted in a problem that somebody needs an answer to. So the focus on the problem is something first that you can exercise, in fact, every day. Every day you can allocate like 5 to 10 minutes in order to practice. How do I solve day-to-day, maybe stupid problems that happen around me, my neighbors, my home, my work? How can I understand and empathize with the problem? And how can we make it like a regular daily practice with a day-to-day consistent manner? The key word here is consistency. It's not about intensity. You just take 5 minutes. Everybody has 5 minutes. The other thing that works quite well in terms of creativity, and that should be like a normal day-to-day exercise, is about connecting with people from different backgrounds. In fact, when you connect with people that is from different ethnicity, different culture, different type of education, artists, whatsoever, your brain is trained to continuously adapt, read the other person, process the information. It's almost like a quick exercise in order to process and digest and extrapolate new information. This is something that has been proven quite valid. So anyone, including me with my background of engineer, I could change these type of behaviors and become a little bit more creative. Let's put it that way.
Awesome. So there you go, guys. You have 3 things. Corporate well-being, it does cost you money. So if your employees are not doing well, I guarantee you it actually has huge financial impact. When it comes to changing behavior, it's much more than just about motivation. And finally, creativity can be developed by just about anybody. So we'll see you guys next week again. But until then, please make sure that you comment, let us know in this video. At the bottom, just let us know if you agree. Have you tried some of these things? And also ask us questions that you want us to demystify for the next episode. We'll be doing that for you moving forward. That's it from us. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao. See you guys.